Good afternoon and welcome to this week's Small Business Town Hall. Today's conversations will include updates from the Rhode Island Secretary of Commerce, Stephen Pryor, Small Business Administration Director, Mark Hayward, the Director of the Department of Labor and Training, uh, Matt Weldon, and also we're going to hear from more information about what's happening with Supply RI from we're going to hear from Doris Blanchard. But today we also have a special guest with us. We have Mayor De Silva from East Providence. I'm going to thank the mayor for joining us, and also we have Town Council President Robert Brito, and we have also Natalia Neves from the this wonderful restaurant, Odinus restaurant. If you haven't been there, I'm telling you, you have to go. It's just delicious. So we're gonna hear a lot about what's happening in East Providence with the small business community from them. It's such a pleasure that they have the opportunity to be here with all of us. But before we begin, I want to remind our viewers the important information that we always mention, which is the rent relief RI. There's funding is still available in there, as well as the homeowner assistance program. There's still funds available in those programs. So make sure that if you are a tenant, or even if you're a landlord and you have tenants that have difficulties paying the rent, there's still funding available at the Rent Relief RI. So make sure you go to the website, and I know that Ben is sharing the information with all of you. And also for the homeowners, I remember when the Rent Relief RI program was launched at the beginning, I used to get so many calls from homeowners that were saying, what about us? When are we going to get funding? When are we going to get some relief and some help? Well, the funding is here right now. So there's fundings available for the homeowners, $50 million available to help you pay your mortgage if you are behind in your mortgage. And also you can, the funding can be used to pay for the taxes, the municipal taxes if you're behind on the taxes. So make sure you go and apply for those funding. As Governor McKee always says, this is money that belongs to us, that came to us back from Washington, and we don't want to send the money back. So we want to make sure that all of our community who needs to access to this funding knows about it and apply for the funding. So we're going to be posting I know Ben has been sharing the information also on the right below on the image. You can see the link to that, and as well as my team is sharing the information in the chat. So I also want everyone to remind everyone to get vaccinated. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. We are doing a lot better. The numbers are going down. Yes, we can celebrate that. But we're still in the middle of the pandemic, and we have to make sure to do everything we can to control this illness. And everything we can right now means getting vaccinated. If you get your vaccine, get your booster, that's the best thing you can do to protect yourself and your family in this against COVID-19. That's going to protect you from getting ill, seriously ill, and it's going to stop you from ending in the hospital. So make sure that you get your vaccine. Okay. And with that, I just want to check with Ben. Ben, who we have first right now?
I believe we have, first of all, hello, Lieutenant Governor. I believe we have Secretary Pryor first.
Okay, great, perfect. So, Secretary, so glad that you're able to join us today. As always, you have a lot of good information. Tell us. We love information from Commerce.
Very glad to be with you, Lieutenant Governor. As you know, we are in the process of rolling out our small business grant program. So we're very pleased to be able to discuss that today. I'm going to start narrating immediately, Lieutenant Governor. Perfect, but there it is. Thank you,
Yes.
Ben. On the spot as always. Ben produces beautifully. With gratitude to Governor McKee and Lieutenant Governor Matos, we are ready to roll out today a grant program for small businesses affected by the COVID pandemic. This is a $12.5 million program total. It offers up to $5,000 awards, up to $5,000 checks to impacted small businesses. So I'm going to explain the program now. Lieutenant Governor, I'm just going to go ahead and dive in. Here we go. So you can see on the screen, the grant sizes are, as I just referenced, up to $5,000. In fact, this time we provided for a smaller amount, $2,500, in case smaller businesses having smaller losses want to qualify and wouldn't make it at the $5,000 mark. We want to offer that additional opportunity. As you know, Lieutenant Governor, and as many in the audience know, under Governor McKee and your leadership, we rolled out back in the spring a small business grant program that was only $5,000. It was very successful, but we want to make sure that even smaller awards could be made. I've already described the size of the program. This is the first program funded by the American Rescue Plan to be rolling out from the Rhode Island Rebounds package that the governor and lieutenant governor proposed to the General Assembly for immediate relief coming out of the American Rescue Plan. It's what we call the down payment. So there may be future investments as well. That's why it's the down payment. This program was passed by the General Assembly on January 4th. We're already getting it up and running. Applications will be open. That is to say, you can actually apply starting at 3:30 p.m. today. So I'm going to give you information on the website. Here we go. If you can see it, maybe it is not displayed on this slide. A little small for my eyes, forgive me. But it's here it comes. Beautiful. So it's commerceri.com/RI rebounds. Check out the Commerce website. Many of you know how to find it. commerceri.com. There's a big button, but /RI rebounds gets you right to the landing page for this program. At 3:30 p.m., there'll be a link to the application itself, to the digital application. We're going to run the program through February 15th at 3:30 p.m. So about a 2-week period. The possibility exists that we will extend the program if there's still money available. If we are undersubscribed, which would be good in the sense that we can offer more opportunities to more businesses, we may change some of the terms of the program, but I'm going to describe the terms to you now. If we're oversubscribed, which also obviously could happen, we're going to prioritize such factors as the following in making our initial awards up to the total dollar amount. We're going to prioritize those businesses that have not received aid yet in the course of the pandemic, small businesses that haven't received assistance. We're going to prioritize minority and women-owned businesses, and we're going to prioritize smaller businesses as measured by revenue. So I appreciate that. I'm getting a good tip here that I'm trying to honor, but I'm failing to figure out here. I'm trying to do the full screen thing. Can't do it. Here we go. Okay. So next, who is eligible? Businesses. As to your eligibility, small businesses for the purpose of this program are defined at $1 million or less in revenue or gross receipts in 2020 or 2021. You can qualify in either way. If you've lost revenue due to COVID, you're eligible. These are the various criteria. That can include revenue loss experienced during 2020 or at any time during since the pandemic started, either one. You have a 2021 net financial need of $2,500 or greater. In other words, that smallest check is $2,500. That's the level you need to hit to be qualified at all for the program. To explain in brief form, the application really explains this in depth, and we have technical assistance for small businesses to help you. But just to explain, if your revenue loss from 2021 compared to 2019 and your expenses factored in give you a $2,500 need when you take into account the assistance you've received from government programs to directly address that need. If you still have $2,500 left, either because of your loss or because of your increased expenses, you're in and you qualify if you meet these other criteria. So you have to be an established business since 10/1/21. The lieutenant governor's been very interested in this point. Many
I
small
am
businesses
very.
have. We want to make sure that even if you are a newer business, you can qualify if you've experienced the fact that your revenues are eclipsed by your expenses. If your expenses exceed your revenues, and if they do so by more than $2,500, you're in. Even if you're a newer business and you can't show your revenue loss compared to 2019 as our baseline year. Obviously, you can't if you were started much sooner, started much more recently. You can't compare to a baseline year of 2019. So we are allowing for newer businesses to get into this program, as we did under the Governor McKee Relief Grant Program last year. You have to be a for-profit business with a physical presence in Rhode Island. If you're a sole proprietor, you're in. It just must be the case that at least 20% of your revenue, of your earnings, comes from your sole proprietor business. You cannot be permanently closed or on the edge of bankruptcy and planning to enter bankruptcy. You have to be a going forward operating business. You, as a general matter, you can't be a chain business or a franchise business. There are specific rules that lay that out if that affects you. You can't be a government agency. There's more to all of this, but we're using shorthand to make sure we're getting the word out. So let's keep going. Okay. A federal requirement, this is not from the state, not from the governor, a federal requirement that just is the case. We've tried, we've looked, there are no exceptions for all receiving grants under the American Rescue Plan. You need to register at sam.gov, sam.gov, and you have to have what's called a DUNS number. These things can be done. If you're a small business and you have your DUNS number and even are registered with sam.gov, you're golden. You're good. You don't have to do it again. If you haven't done these things yet, we have information on the commerceri.com website on how to do it. It's essentially a way to register with the federal government that you are a legitimate business. It's an anti-fraud measure. It's making sure that the businesses that are applying are, in fact, operating business entities. It's required across the entire country for all of these federal grants. So we're afraid you have to do it. Don't be intimidated by it. Check out our website. We have both printed information and an instructional video from the SBA on how to register with sam.gov. I want to make this point, especially, Lieutenant Governor. Do not wait to get your sam.gov registration done before applying for the Rhode Island Rebound Small Business Grant, the grant I'm talking about now from the state. Do not wait. Apply now, because you can, in parallel, get your sam.gov registration. And the only thing that gets held, if you haven't gotten all the way through that process yet, is the check itself. But we can get you through the process in the meantime, and you may catch up with your check, meaning you may get the sam.gov registration done by the time we're ready to issue your check. So it does not prevent you from applying. It only is required for you to get the payment. So please go ahead and start your process on sam.gov. Once again, check out commerceri.com/RI Rebounds for more information. And we will have technical assistance for you on all of the things I described, including what net need means for your business, including how to answer a question that may just be hard for you to comprehend or get through for reasons that are very understandable, or help with sam.gov and the DUNS number that you're going to need from the perspective of the federal government. If you need help with any of those things, we have technical assistance partners. I know some of them are on the line. Check for commerceri.com/RI Rebounds information on when there are some office hours. There may be some Facebook Lives. We did one yesterday that will help you through the process. You could also always call 521-HELP, 401, of course, 521-HELP, which is the helpline at Commerce. If you don't get a live person, someone will call you back. You can also, one excellent way to contact us is to go to commerceri.com/your business advisor. You see the hyphens in between. If you can write that down, your business advisor, or easier, just go to the site and you'll find it. You can click on it. That's a way to send us a message and people will get back to you. If you end up having questions, we might refer you to one of the technical assistance partners written on the right-hand side. And I want to thank the many, many organizations that have helped to create this platform and program by helping us test it, give us advice. I want to start with the Small Business Coalition and Chris Parisi, who's been invaluable as a key partner for commerce and getting it done. Jen Ortiz is an incredible member and leader of the coalition, who's also been enormously helpful, including helping us figure out, okay, if you're applying for sam.gov and DUNS, what does it require? Are there any moments or any bottlenecks that are challenging? And I want to thank the partners that were listed there: the Center for Southeast Asians, REBA, the Rhode Island Black Business Association, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, multiple other chambers of commerce and associations that are actually offering ongoing help. The Society of CPAs, Lieutenant Governor, is available to offer some help as you're trying to figure out, you know what, if you're a small business and you haven't filed your taxes yet, of course, you're still assembling your tax information and you're trying to do the math on that revenue and loss, or you're trying to do the math on something else, your expenses, whatever feature, a CPA may be able to help you. Very, very important points to make about the overall process. A number of small businesses have been through some of these grant applications before in the course of the pandemic, whether federal applications direct to the feds through PPP or an SBA EIDL loan, or through Commerce's own, Rhode Island Commerce's own Restore Grant or Relief Grant in the previous rounds. Under this Rhode Island Rebound Small Business Grant Program, things are mostly easier. We've made things even more streamlined and even more straightforward as best we can. We think you'll find that the technology platform is the best one yet. There could be some quirks or some problems that we experience, and we'll fix them as we go. But in the piloting of it, it's been easier. We're trying to ask fewer questions in a way that's easier to respond. And we are also asking for the small business to produce less information, meaning when you use our online calculator to compute whether you're eligible at $2,500 or $5,000, it's there as a tool for you, but you don't have to submit to us your math. When we ask you about your revenue, you don't have to send us your tax returns. You do not have to upload documents, no uploading at all. Now, having said that, we'll do some spot checking for businesses to make sure that the system's working. So please retain the information you use. Write it down digitally or by pen, however you see fit. Have your information in a file in case we call you pre-award or post-award, meaning before we send you your check or after we send you your check. We may call you and ask you to just run through your math or to check some information. This way we know the system's working. We want to make sure that it is working and that everything is in accordance with the rules. But bottom line is, this should be an easier still process than the relief grant program that did mostly get some praise for being efficient. The biggest message of all is that if you think you're eligible, please go to commerceri.com/RI Rebounds. Read up on those eligibility criteria. It's the things I said today, but go ahead and familiarize yourself. Get ready. And the applications will open at 3:30 p.m. today. And please, alongside doing that, even before 3:30 today, if you happen to have time, I don't expect everyone to have time, for goodness sake, but if you do, start moving towards getting your DUNS number and registering with sam.gov. We look forward to getting that relief out to you. We know small businesses continue to struggle, especially given the impacts of the Omicron variant, with consumer demand dropping for some businesses, for many businesses. So we know many businesses need this relief. We want you to obtain this money, and we're eager to get it out to you. Lieutenant Governor, back to you.
Thank you, Secretary. So many important things in this presentation, and we're going to continue to share this information with all of you. Um, uh, the point about those businesses that started or were about to open during the pandemic, so they qualify, which is those, we got several phone calls about those. So thank you
Yes.
for that. The information about making sure that they keep the paperwork that they used to submit the application in case you are called to an audit or anything like that. Make sure you have all those documentation ready just in case. And the deadline was the last day for the application?
The 15th.
The 15th, right?
Yes.
So don't miss the deadline. There's nothing we can do after the deadline is over. So if you're not sure if you qualify, just apply before the deadline, because there's nothing we can do after the deadline has passed. So thank you for all that information.
Definitely.
And I know, Ben, do you have any questions for the Secretary?
Hello, Secretary. No
Hi, Ben.
questions. No questions in the chat. Couple comments of thank you for the support for small businesses. But
So
no
glad.
questions. Yeah, and if you have any, they're all of the links are in there, and you can get hooked up directly with somebody from Commerce. So, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Ben.
you.
So then next, I'm gonna invite over the Director of the Department of Labor and Training, Director Welcome. Good seeing you again right now on the Small Business Town Hall. What updates you have for the small business community that is watching right now?
Good afternoon. I feel like we just did this.
Right.
So I'm going to, I'll be quick because I know that you have a packed agenda. Just offer a couple of things. One, I'm going to begin with, it's that time of year again when we send out tax forms. And so we've sent them all out. We worked up and through Friday night, and then everything was out the door, ready to go for Monday's mail load. That's good. What does that mean? It means that people are going to get a 1099-G for any unemployment benefits they received or temporary caregiver benefits they received last year. What happens if you get one and you say, I didn't collect unemployment? Then you're probably a victim of what's called imposter fraud. This is what we've talked about a number of times. Somebody had gotten your information probably from a large national data breach. They purchased that information online. They use it to file a claim in your name. We would have paid out maybe a week or two. Most likely, we're not paying those out anymore, which is great. If we already did pay it out, then you would get this notice. What do we do? Go to dlt.ri.gov. Right at that website, on the top of the page, there is a banner. That banner indicates that if you receive one of these 1099s and you did not collect an unemployment or a temporary caregiver, fill it out. It'll allow us to work on what's a corrected 1099 for you so you can do your taxes. And we can give you other information about unemployment fraud. Unfortunately, unemployment fraud will probably always be something that we have to combat. We're better at it than we used to be, but the bad actors do bad things and they do them pretty well. And so they'll keep trying, and we'll fight it every step of the way. Next, WorkShare. I want to talk about WorkShare. I want to talk about WorkShare a little bit because I want, we've explained what WorkShare is, and I think I want to spend a minute on what it's not. So what WorkShare is a program that deals with unexpected downturns or interruptions in business where you really don't have the ability to keep everybody on full time, but you also don't want to lay people off because then you lose that talented person and that connection that you have with your workforce. It's not good for you. It's not good for your workers who feel valued and they feel like they're part of a team. So WorkShare steps in. And how does it work? You reduce the hours of the worker between 10% and 50% of their work week, and then they get paid a partial unemployment benefit on top of their pay for whatever hours they work. WorkShare is a great program when it's used because disruptions happen, but what it can't be used for is to become a routine part of someone's business plan. And I don't want that to sound like it's accusatory because it's not. During this pandemic, a lot of people had to rely on it for longer than they typically would, but it can't be a permanent solution. It's not designed to be. And the reason why is because your workers will ultimately be harmed. WorkShare, after a period of about 18 months, we require you to adjust your hours that you're based on your weekly WorkShare claim on. So if you used to work 40 hours a week and you're reduced to 35 during WorkShare, Your new work share full-time work week would be 35 after a period of time. And then you have to further reduce from that. The challenge when you don't is that ultimately your employees, if you did have to lay them off, would have very little benefits to be paid out. We would have, and because we based their benefit rate on their earnings, and their earnings would have been really limited or suppressed for a long period of time if you were on work share for 2 years, or in some cases more than that. So right now I'm starting to get some communication from people that say, you know, I've been on it for 2 years. I would like to do it for another year. The answer is I want to help you. I don't want you to have to close your business or lose your business, but you're going to have to work with us. And it may be somewhere in the middle. We want to help you, but we can't help you at the expense of all of your workers. And so we need to make sure that we're meeting both needs as best we can. Workshare is another program that is going to get a lot of attention this year, I hope. You know, we talked about Omicron hopefully going away. Things are getting better. The economy is getting better. As that happens, we can start to focus on things that we want to make improvements in. Workshare is a great program that could use some more updates. It's had some in the last few years, needs more. And so that's something I'm going to lead on this year. You and I, Governor, will be having more discussion about that. Real quick, there aren't that many people on unemployment, 7,000, 8,000. That number is going to go down. Most people that are impacted by COVID don't qualify for unemployment. You have to be able to work. Unless your place of business furloughed you because they had to close temporarily, meaning there's no work available, then if you're have COVID, if you're quarantining, if you're watching your kids, if you're taking care of somebody, you're not able to work, which means you have to apply for TDI. The good news is TDI pays a little bit more than unemployment because there's no federal bonus with unemployment anymore. And we pay them within 3 weeks of filing, sooner if we can. We don't need a doctor's note if it's a COVID claim. We do need something in writing, and we don't accept at-home tests. So it would have to be a test that has your name on it, like you go to a state-approved site. Doesn't have to be a state-run site. Could be a pharmacy, could be a clinic, could be a doctor's office, could be any place. As long as your name is on that document, you can submit the test, or your family member's test, or an email from a school, or an email from an employer that says, I just don't want you to come back to work for a week because I know there was some exposure in your family or something. We're trying to be as flexible as we can. We're going to continue to be. Last point before I stop talking, Lieutenant Governor, is this afternoon is a hearing in the House and in the Senate to talk about the emergency orders and the executive orders issued during emergency times. And while as a product of the legislature, where I first worked in my career, I have nothing but great respect for the legislature, and I know all the great things they do. It's a deliberative body by nature, and that's great. Sometimes we don't have that much time to be deliberative. We have to be responsive. Executive orders allow us to do that, and we can work hand in glove with the legislature to govern our state in a timely fashion and in a more mid and long-term fashion when we do this so as partners. The governor's order have allowed us to do things like prevent employers from absorbing $60 million in additional unemployment taxes because we, at a time in the fall when the legislature wasn't in, we were able to use an executive order to suspend the law and allow us to do things a little bit differently, responsibly, but differently. And so we're just asking for everyone to, support that measure today. Yes. It's important to keep that in place until April 15th, which is the current date in that bill. That's it from me. I thank you very much. Always happy to take questions.
Thank you, Director. That's so important, that information about the executive order. Thank you for sharing that and everything else. The WorkShare program, I'm a big fan, but it's true. We need probably to update the program. So we'd love to hear from the small businesses that are listening right now, those that have used the program, and give us your feedback about how can the program be improved. So thank you for that information. So I'm going to turn the conversation over now to Major Bob Da Silva. Major Da Silva, thank you so much for joining this conversation. We wanted to have the opportunity to talk with the different municipalities about how are you doing with your small business program, and what are the things that is happening in highlighted small businesses in your communities that have been successful. So thank you so much for joining right now, and tell me, how's East Providence?
East Providence is doing great. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for inviting us to be on here today. Recently we just brought on a new person into our planning and economic development office as a planner one, and that person is Victor Regino. His main goal, and Victor, you know Victor, right,
Yes.
Lieutenant, and he used to work in Providence. I think he's going to be a great addition to the staff here in East Providence. His main goal, his main job purpose right now, we told him and said, look, make sure you touch base with these businesses in East Providence who may qualify for the Rebound RI grant. Help them get the SAMS numbers, help them get all of the, get everything in order. So we kind of want to have somebody on staff. I know that you have people working at Commerce RI to help small businesses, but we also sometimes understand that dealing with your local municipality might make things more comfortable and easier. So we just brought him on. He just started on Monday. So we're very excited to have him on board. Perfect timing.
Good. Perfect time, and congratulations. And you're right. Like someone that was in the local offices before, we get the first call from the small business community, from the neighbors before they go any other places that come to us. So thank you for doing that.
That's so true. I mean, people feel comfortable dealing with their local elected people and coming to City Hall as opposed to having to find the office at the state level makes them feel more comfortable. So we hope that's a very successful program to help people. On another note, we're getting our own allotment of ARPA funds, and we plan on dedicating approximately $6 million to assist our small businesses, to create some business incubator programs, to create some facade improvement programs, some outside dining improvement programs. So we're still working out the details on that. And part of the reason why we haven't rolled it out is because we know that there's always more programs coming either from the state or the federal level, and we don't want to be duplicative. We don't want to duplicate a program that's already going to be funded by federal dollars coming through the feds directly. So, but we are in the early process. As a matter of fact, I sent the communication to our city council regarding where we plan on putting some of that ARPA funding, and we'd like to put $6 million towards helping small businesses, and we'll work out all the details on the different programs. But we think out of that $6 million, we'll be able to put together some unique programs to help our small business community here in East Providence.
So good to hear that. You mentioned the city council. I know the president was trying to connect with us. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to. But it's so good because I remember when I was in the city council, it's important for us to have a good working relation with the administration and the council, and to have the same priorities in supporting the small business community. So it's good to see that you're both on the same page when it comes to supporting the small business. Thank you.
Thank you so much. No, we've got a great group on the council. I've been in constant communication with Councilman Cahoon and Rodricks and Brito regarding the priorities that they have. So we're moving in the right direction. We feel pretty good. We're very fortunate to be. One of the things out of this whole pandemic is we have a unique opportunity here to make some real big changes that's going to impact our communities for many, many years. And we hope that we can take this funding and put it to use to help our small businesses, not just on the short term, but in the long term.
Thank you, Mayor. And you have a guest, right? You have a small business in your community. So why don't we bring Natalia? Natalia, it's so good to see you again. So I'm gonna let the mayor to do the introduction.
Natalia Piva-Neves is a wonderful small business owner here. Well, her and her dad, Denise Piva, own a business here. It's a very great restaurant. I know you've been to that restaurant, Lieutenant Governor, and
I love it.
When your office asked if we could have a small business person on, I thought right away, let's get Natalia on board. It's really it's one of the businesses that draws people from all over the state to come to East Providence to try some Portuguese cuisine. So I wanted to have Natalia on board. I've had conversations with Natalia about what some of her needs may be going forward. So we hope to craft some of our small business assistance programs based on her input and the input from other people. Thank you, Natalia, for being here.
I am so appreciated that I was able to come on, and I'm learning a lot today, I have to say. And I am grateful to Lieutenant Governor Matos and to Mayor Bob Da Silva for inviting me, and also for helping out the city and getting these small businesses up and running, because without some of the help that has come through in the last couple of years, I mean, things would be pretty grim for a restaurant like ours, which is family owned, family operated, very small, and we're not a franchise. So we are grateful for the funding that we were able to get from the state and the federal government. And it's been very helpful for us. We've used it wisely. However, I think that there's definitely more that could be done in terms of improving some of the infrastructure and some of the buildings. Unfortunately, the last 2 years has made it so that we've taken a hit on losing a lot of our business. Luckily, I would say in the last 7 months, we've done quite well in rebuilding. But then came January, and then with the surge in the Omicron, we just went downhill again. So it's great that you keep coming up with these programs to helping out small businesses like ours. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Natalia. And that's so important that you're here with the mayor, because at the state level, we have to make sure that we are creating programs that are responsive to the needs that the municipalities have and that small businesses in the communities are dealing with right now. So it's so important to hear directly from both of you about what's happening in East Providence and what are the things that we can do at the state level to help you continue to provide the wonderful services that you provide to our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lieutenant Governor, I know this is not about small business, but in a way it is. I want to first offer kudos to you and Governor Dan McKee on the handling of the snowstorm, because our state put on a travel ban, and because of that, we were able to clear up the streets and do the best we can to get businesses up and running again. So I really appreciate that because other municipalities, other states didn't do that, and they had a lot of problems, and you saw some of the issues in neighboring states. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No, my pleasure. Thank you for saying that, Mayor. It's true. Like the governor was right on target when he put that travel ban, because that makes it, just driving was so hard during this storm. But as you know, he has a background in the municipal government. He understands the challenges. And even when the decision was made about extending it until midnight, we were thinking about how all of you in the municipalities were dealing with having to clear the street to make sure that for the next day, everything was going to be open. So I'm very grateful that the governor also made that call. That was the right call. So thank you for saying that, Mayor. So I want to, before I let you guys go, I want to bring Chris Parisi on board. So Chris, what did you think? We have Mayor De Silva, we have Natalia. What do you think?
I'm excited, and I just want to make a quick note that Victor Regino is a great person for small businesses, and a great pick by our office. We've worked with him at the City of Providence for small businesses, so we're now excited to work with him on the East Providence side as well, and maybe we'll have to. Now I know a spot to go to meet Victor.
Great lunch meetings.
Great lunch meetings at Old Denige, absolutely. And Victor, like Chris, we're very excited to have him on board. He's going to be a great addition to the team. So thank you for saying that. I know he's listening. I told him that we'd be on talking about small business.
Oh, if I knew he was listening, I wouldn't be so kind. Now he's a great addition to the team and a supporter of small businesses.
So it is right now. We have a day. We're going to go to Old Denise to have a meeting about the small business and how East Providence is going to be connecting with the Small Business Coalition. So we're going to be there soon, right?
All right. We'll be great. We'll be ready to join you on board and listen more and how we can work with more East Providence small businesls.
Thank you.
I have a few ideas.
Okay, you see? We're going to be there, Natalia. We're going to be there.
All right. That's great.
So I just want
Thank
to
you.
do, Chris, stay on just for a little bit. I just wanted a quick check with Ben. Is there a question for the mayor, for Natalia, before they go? Just wanted to check with you.
Hello, Mayor and Natalia. Chris also, I guess. Hello. There is one question from Tina from Ramp that just wanted to know about the accessibility of the city and businesses, and if Mayor De Silva was open to a conversation about how to make East Providence more accessible for everyone.
We're always willing to do whatever we can within our power to make things more accessible for everyone. So absolutely, have her reach out to my office. Be happy to listen to hear from her. Matter of fact, let me share with you while I have you. The phone number for my office is 431-451. I'm sorry, 4610, 431-4610. And for Victor Regino, his direct number is 435-7500, extension 11155. So that's 435-7500, 11155. Now, if there's anything we can do to make things more accessible, absolutely. We're always willing to invest in that. And that's part of that $6 million that we want to put to work to help small businesses who may be facing challenges in accessibility, who may be facing challenges because their facades haven't been updated in years. So whatever we can do that fits within the parameters of what the funding allows for, we're going to put that to work. So.
Thank you, Mayor. Actually, I was talking to Tina about scheduling a meeting with you. So we're going to be reaching out. She has some wonderful ideas about how to help the small business community to become ADA compliant. So we're going to be in contact with that. But again, I just want to thank you for the time, both of you. Natalia, please make sure you put the link to the restaurant in the chat so everybody knows how to find you. And we're going to be in East Providence soon. Thank you so much for the time and for the information.
Thank you.
Great seeing you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Thank you. Take care, Chris.
Bye,
Natalia.
Bye.
So I'm going to go now to a presentation. Today we have like a packed agenda. Chris, we have also Doris Blanchard, who's going to give us a presentation. Doris is from Commerce, from Supplier Eye, and she has some great information for us. So we're going to go to Doris Blanchard, and then you and me can come back and talk, Chris. That works? Perfect. Thanks. Hey, Doris.
Lieutenant Governor, how are you?
Good. Welcome. Tell us about Supplier Eye. What's going on?
Very good. Very good. So, yes, we're very excited. So actually, I was chatting with Mayor De Silva because, one of our initiatives that we have with Supplier Eye is to extend the program to our pilot cities and towns. And, we're thinking Providence, Cranston, East Providence, and Pawtucket as the cities. And just let me explain for your audience a little bit about what is Supplier Eye. So Supplier Eye is a great initiative that it connects our small businesses in the state with our larger buyers. We call them anchors because they have a high visibility here in the state. Currently, we have 15 anchors, including Ørsted, our newest anchor in the offshore wind industry. So if any of the businesses that are listening to us, they have the capacity to sell their products and services, they can be part of our database of Supplier Eye. Our website is supplyrhodeisland.com. I send the link to Ben so he can post it.
He already posted it. Yes.
Oh, great. And also through the pandemic, we have been very busy, Lieutenant Governor, seeking businesses that can provide PPE products and services like masks, hand sanitizers, cleaning services, IT, marketing, translation services. And so we have a compiled list. It is in the website of Commerce. Also, Ben has the link that will provide a list of suppliers that have the capacity to sell their products and services. Very important for us. We are getting ready to launch more programs, and we connect these suppliers with different organizations, chambers of commerce, cities and towns, where they can sell their products. So this is a great opportunity. In the meantime, we are putting together different trainings, including the one that is coming up on February 23rd, to become certified with the state as MBWB, and also with the Greater New England Minority Diversity Council that oversees the region. And this provides great opportunities for our small businesses that are seeking to sell their products and services to the state. As you may know, the state buys different products and services, but they need to be registered as MBWB. Totally free. So we have a great info session on February 23rd, free of charge, so they can learn how to become certified.
So there's just so much in there. So I just want to go back a little bit. So everyone that is watching right now, you can do business with the state of Rhode Island. The state of Rhode Island purchases services, goods and services. And if you are a provider, you could be doing business with the state of Rhode Island. And if you are a minority-owned business, or if you are a woman-owned business, you have the opportunity to be certified, officially certified with the state of Rhode Island as a minority-owned business and as a woman-owned business. And you were asked why? Well, the advantage is if you are certified, you're going to be placed in the list of MBEs and WBEs with the state of Rhode Island. In the state of Rhode Island, there is a law in the state of Rhode Island that says 10% of every contract dollars should go to a woman-owned business or minority-owned business. So that's why we're giving you this information, and make sure you register for that workshop.
Yeah, and we have been very busy working with Associate Director Thomas Avila, putting together a list of what is going to be required. As you know, there are many projects coming up, including the improvement of the schools in different cities. So we are putting together a list of all those trades that are going to be needing to have the opportunity to work on those projects. So carpenters, plumbers, electricians, landscapers, you name it. So that is why it's so important, in order for them to qualify for those projects, that they need to get certified. And that's why we're doing that info session on February 23rd at 10 o'clock. So please register for free. And I think Ben also has the link for that event. So that is very, very important. And constantly we seek requests from our buyers. So that is why it's also important to become part of the Supplier Right database and create your profile totally for free. We provide you all the information. So if you have any questions, please contact me. My number is 401-278-9127. And I'll be happy to have a conversation with you and how you can qualify for upcoming opportunities through Supplier Right.
Thank you, Doris. Can you please give your number again, or either put it in the chat so Ben can share that number with everyone that is listening right now and watching this information?
Absolutely. Doing that right now.
Thank you. This is great information. And also, besides working in doing business with the state of Rhode Island, you also work with other companies, right, that reach out to you looking for vendors, correct?
That's right. We have 15 anchors right now. So we have like CVS, Amica, Blue Cross Blue Shield, all the higher institutions, Brown University, RISD, Roy Williams University, also the construction, Gilbane, Chalmette, Electric Boat, Delta Dental. So we are putting together and how to do business with these anchor institutions. So suppliers will know how to apply, how to get into their portal, what are their qualifications, what is required for them. So there is, different ways to interact with these anchors and to get to know them and learn about their procurement process.
Thank you. Thank you for this important information, Doris. Now I'm going to bring Ben to the conversation to ask Ben, is there any questions in the chat, any comments?
There are no questions, no, but thank you, Doris, so much. There were a lot of great information and links there.
You're very welcome.
Right. Thank you, Doris. Truly appreciate this time in sharing the information regarding the workshops that are coming up. And we should plan on you coming frequently, give us update about what's happening, because this is such an important information. So we're going to be in contact with you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you, Doris. So now we're going to go back to Chris. Chris, tell me, what do you think about all this information we got today?
Whew, it was a jam-packed day, Lieutenant Governor. This was great. This is exactly what small businesses need, is to hear that direct line of communication with their, government and business leaders. So we appreciate you making sure that we consistently have these calls and bring on great folks like you had on today. As far as the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition, we were working hard with Commerce to get this grant program as easy and accessible to our small businesses. And we understand there's a lot of compliance that we have to follow from the federal regulations. And we feel that Commerce did a great job in balancing simplicity with compliance and trying to do what's best for our small business with the amount of money that the state has to give in that grant program. So we urge all small businesses to learn more by going to commerceri.com/RI Rebounds to get prepared, get your DUNS number ready, get your sam.gov number ready. So that way, when the portal opens up at 3:30 today, you do have a 2-week window, but you're ready and prepared to get all that information that you need, and go through it and make sure you're pre-qualified. And if you have any questions, the Commerce team is ready and able to answer them for you, as well as a whole list of business support organizations that's there for you to go through this grant process. And now that we finalized this grant progress, we can never take our foot off the pedal. Now we have to focus on the other components of the down payment that Governor McKee and in your office, Lieutenant Governor, has proposed and got passed with the legislation, which shout out to the legislation, to the General Assembly leaders for getting this passed on the first day of the year. So now we're going to look at how can we help out the hard-hit industries like the travels and the tourism and the hospitalities and the events and others that the program's dedicated, while also looking at public health support, ventilation, things like the Take It Outside that was successful. Now we have to focus our efforts on getting these out and ready as fast as we can, so that we can continue this momentum in supporting our small businesses and get that economic recovery that we need.
Well, Chris, thank you. And thank you so much for all the work you and the coalition has been doing to provide feedback to Commerce on the development of these programs. The information that you provide is so important because all of you are the one at the forefront of this work. We have to continue to listen to the experiences that you have and the challenges that you're all having. So I just want to say thank you on behalf of the state of Rhode Island for everything that you do, for everything that the coalition has been doing. We truly appreciate your partnership and your feedback.
We appreciate it. We thank you for having these forums. This is so important. And, thank you to all those that made this grant possible, especially Steph and Secretary Pryor, Hannah, and the whole team over there. So make sure small businesses apply, opening up 3:30 today. So get your application.
That's right. 3:30, make sure you apply, and make sure that you apply before the deadline ends. So if you apply today, it's even better, but the deadline is the 15th. So make sure you apply. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much for all of you that are connected today and we're watching this broadcast information regarding the small business community here in the state of Rhode Island. Remember, we need to hear from you. Give us your feedback. In the chat, we have been sharing the contact information, how you can contact each one of the individuals that participated in this conversation today, how you can contact my office. Please give us your feedback. It is important for us to hear directly from you. With that, thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Our next one is going to be on February 15th. So see you here on February 15th. And I will give you a reminder at that time that you will have only 2 hours left for the application if you have not done it, right? So see you on the 15th. Take care.